Hear me again? Can no one hear me? Oh, nobody heard anything we just said. All right.
Nope. We're gonna have to trim
Well,
that
we're
out
here
in
now.
editing.
We did. We didn't say anything super vital or important to anything. We just let the coaches know they could get started and had a little bit of fun bantering back and forth. But that'll be lost to time. You can all just close your eyes and speculate on what was said prior to this moment in this stream. But we do see that Addy is bringing the Great Tusk, Roaring Moon, Manaphy, Hisuian Lilligant, Hatterene, and the Vileplume. On the side of Godbear, we've got the Dudunsparce, Empoleon, Scyther, Iron Valiant, Latias, and Ting Lu.
I immediately love this Ting Lu set. They are rocking Choice Scarf Ting Lu.
Choice Scarf Ting Lu is... That's crazy work right there.
It certainly is a choice.
Trying to figure out a way to beat somebody who seems unbeatable at times.
Honestly, I understand it and I appreciate it. All right, so right off the bat, we see Hisuian Lilligant taking on the Scyther. Right off the bat, Terra Captain versus Terra Captain, and this is an interesting pairing because in paper, Scyther has the advantage here with the flying being quad effective, but Hisuian Lilligant is a Terra Steelmon, so it can turn that quad weakness into a resist just like that.
Yeah, no Sun right now for Addy. Actually, no Ninetales brought at all. Despite that, Addy actually is still running Chlorophyll on the Hisuian Lilligant. Doesn't want to risk Hustle or anything like that. So first week we're seeing, I think, that we're seeing her not bring the Ninetales.
Yep, this is the first week it has not come, and I did check the rest of her sets. We don't have a manual Sun setter, so there will not be Sun in this match. And right off the bat, Godbear's Terra is going off first. These two mons do naturally tie in speed. However, Scyther is jolly max speed. Hisuian Lilligant is not, so you're going to see the Scyther outspeeding unless a Victory Dance pops off, which is very possible here as a lead from Addy.
Yeah, going for that Terra herself into that Steel type. Of course, Scyther does have access to close combat here. That would be a crazy read right off the bat. And we don't see Godbear make it. So Scyther gonna get big damage off here, despite the resistance, but not enough to kill, and it's gonna allow a Victory Dance to come out.
Or just a Terra Blast.
We don't see it. We don't see the Victory Dance, which means the Scyther does get another free attack off here. It's not gonna die to that, certainly not.
No, but absolutely huge there. I mean, Dual Wing Beat doing an insane amount. Not only is it getting a Technician boost and Choice Band boost, but it's also getting double stab boost. So it's just piling on the stats to make it a very effective ring here.
Yeah, and this now, with the Terra, is the only resist to flying that Addy has.
And it just goes down to a Dual Wing Beat, so nothing can really swap in safely, and I don't think anything other than the Roaring Moon can naturally outspeed.
Yeah, and without having clicked the Victory Dance here, there's no immediate move for the Hisuian Lilligant that can kill the Scyther either, so obviously, worst case scenario for Godbear is a miss, and we know that his hacks generally would indicate that that's probably going to happen here. But despite that, you know, it's not dead to any specific move from the Lilligant immediately. So even if he misses and the Lilligant's off Victory Dance, Godbear gets to keep this around, switch it out, you know, go from there and be able to preserve this for later.
We're seeing some debate come out from Addy. Alexa stay in, and Dual Wing Beat's going to connect again, and this will pick up the kill amongst the Hisuian Lilligant. I was scared for a second. There just felt like a longer than normal pause, and so in my head I was going, wait, can the second Dual Wing Beat miss? That'd be insane.
No. It's not a triple axle style move. If the first one lands, the second one lands. But with the full exception of, you know, if the Pokemon dies in between.
Yep, so right off the bat, I'm assuming big information was revealed to Addy, so now Roaring Moon is able to come in. Likely getting scouted here that yes, this is a Choice Band item. Knockoff here should kill, so we're going to see a hard swap out. And this is a very interesting Roaring Moon set. It's running Knockoff, U-Turn, Taunt, and Roost. So we
Yeah,
see the
not like
knock.
a standard Dragon Dance thing, obviously, and it's Covert Cloak for because it's not, don't need the photosynthesis boost. There's no sun, and no booster energy either. So, um,
Covert Cloak makes
very
sense
utility.
considering the Dunsparce that's sitting right here.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Can't get Body Slam parried. This is clearly the answer to Dunsparce. It is max defense too. Um, so very clearly an answer to Body Press or Body Slam to Dunsparce. But Dunsparce could still glare. I mean, it's not like it can't. I guess with Taunt it can't, but you know, I'm curious what the play here is. I'm assuming Taunt's going to come out here, and we are going to see it.
We do see the
Godbear,
Taunt unable to roost.
in my opinion, yeah, Roost actually is the best case scenario there for Godbear. It gives away the least information to Addy. If you click Coil, then the set, is a little bit more revealed. Addy has a lot more information about the probable moves and directionality of the set, likely physical, and certain, you're not going to be seeing Boom Burst probably with a Coil set. So by seeing Roost, you really give away as little information as possible when you get taunted, which is actually great because it makes this next switch in a lot harder. Odds are it's the Vileplume either way, just because I think it's the best answer to this. But
especially with Effect Spore.
But it does just keep that information hidden for an extra second or two.
So we see the Body Press come out. It's going to do next to no damage. No Effect Spore effect on that one. So Godbear avoiding that. Interesting that Godbear is running Serene Grace when their only offensive move doesn't have a secondary ability.
Yeah, that is interesting, because Rattled actually would have been great here. The Dunsparce would have been super fast from a knockoff and a U-turn.
Oh, yeah. So now the question is what's going to deal with the Vileplume?
But it would have been fast.
Yeah. Fast pivot.
Yeah, Vileplume opting for Synthesis here as its recovery move, not opting for the Strength Sap. Personally, I think Strength Sap is just an unreal move. That move is so messed up. I have lost a game where I had already set up a Dragon Dance with a Haxorus, and a Vileplume came in. It was at full HP. I couldn't Oko it. It Strength Sapped. I got back to full, and I could never Oko it, and it ended up just winning the game. Completely stalled out my Haxorus.
It's terrifying. We see a double swap, so to Dunsparce revealing that it is in fact faster than the Vileplume, as neither mon has any stats put into it. And it's a Roaring Moon now versus a Latios. Kind of an interesting pairing here. Off the bat,
yeah,
knockoff is just killing.
Yeah, knockoff is just so spammable into this Latios. Unfortunately for Godbear here, like you can't really even get any more information out of this. And if you're Godbear here, you did see the taunt, you did see the knockoff, you did see the U-turn, so you know that if it's Dragon Dance, it's not running a Dragon type move, though it doesn't really need it. Yeah, just knockoff is so free here.
I'm sad because now it's going to knock off the Choice Scarf. Adia looking to go for the U-turn. The Choice Scarf, it lives! The shenanigans can still happen.
Jolly, max speed, Ting-Lu. I'm not even sure with the Choice Scarf it would have outsped the Roaring Moon.
It would not have.
And Roaring Moon's not even full speed, so.
Nope.
Yeah, I'm curious what speed calc, Godbear saw that tempted the Choice Scarf here.
So now we
because you're not outgoing a Great Tusk, right? You're a physical set.
Yeah.
You're not outgoing a Great Tusk. You're probably not outgoing a Manaphy. And so even though you can outspeed them, like, what is the benefit to being Choice Scarfed here?
Zen Headbutt looks actually kind of wild right now because this Great Tusk does not have a fighting move. So they're both doing about the same damage to each other.
This is a bluff right now on some level. Addy probably going to go for a knockoff this turn. I wonder if Addy was worried about a more likely Colberberry than Tangaberry on the Latios, and that's why the U-turns clicked as opposed to the knockoff.
Makes sense. I mean, you just... Even if you're wrong, and they happen to be running something like that as a safe switch. I think the only real risk that you run, though, is that... if it's a weakness policy agility set, the game might just be over right there. So Tinglu getting off a Ruination, having its Choice Scarf knocked off, so now free to click other moves, but that Ruination, absolutely huge damage off the bat.
Yeah, and actually with the Choice Scarf getting knocked off, that sort of benefits
Godbear here.
here.
We see a hard swap from the Great Tusk, and instead Addy is sending out Squish, then Manaphy. Kind of interesting here, as the Zen Headbutt is going to connect and do nothing.
Literally 0.
Oh, yep. This is a max attack, max defense, bold leftovers Manaphy that's running Sleep Talk, Take Heart, Rest, and Scald. Oh. This is basically a Showdown Rando set.
But we do see that this Empoleon will be able to answer that Scald fairly well. Doesn't take a whole lot of damage. Unfortunately, the early burn, but the big thing here that it has access to are both Knockoff and Roar. Roar going to make sure that this Manaphy never gets too out of hand. Roost as well will keep this thing healthy despite the burn. And Knockoff can get rid of the leftovers for passive recovery not happening. So Godbear did come prepared for a Manaphy very similar to this one, it seems like. And hopefully will be able to weather that storm, because if this thing does start going crazy, there is just not, like, if this Empoleon's not healthy enough, there's just not a lot that's going to be able to answer it.
Nope, but we see the Vileplume come right back in. Knockoff is coming out, does almost nothing. And there goes the Clear Amulet, which I'm curious what the Clear Amulet was for.
Didn't want its stats to be reduced?
Maybe fearing Moonblast on a swap in or something like that? I'm not fully sure. But despite the early game situational advantage for Godbear, Addy playing this relatively well. I think Godbear just needs to try and find a position to bring the Scyther back in where Roaring Moon's not in, because then something's just dropping.
I agree, and I'm a little surprised that we see the hard swap rather than like a flip turn there. We're already
probably
burned,
wanting
so
to, yeah.
Explorer just maybe doesn't want to reveal it.
So Latias sitting in here. Unfortunately, this Vileplume is especially defensive. And so Ice Beam's not going to be doing that much, especially when you factor in the leftover recovery. Or not the leftover recovery, sorry, the Leech Seed recovery. We see a hard swap out. And Addy is going to send in Scarlet, the Hatterene. Ice Beam is going to come out, and I'm assuming, that did more than I was expecting, in all honesty.
Well, Life Orb is going to help it get that little bit of extra damage in there, but with the leftovers on the Hatterene and no reason to stay in here with the Leech Seed and the Life Orb and not doing enough damage, I mean, this effectively does negligible damage here and allows a free Nuzzle.
Yeah.
It's not totally free. There's obviously a Tinglu and a burned Empoleon already, but Addy a couple of choices here, obviously, with this already in.
Addy mentioned she was bringing a stall Sun team, or not a Sun team, but just a stall team this week, and I am inclined to believe that she was 100% being honest.
Yeah, but I don't know if her team is built to bring a stall team as much, so I'm curious how this is going to actually manifest for her.
I mean, she's got the right answers for everything so far, and recovery options, so going to be interesting. But I do think we see either the flip turn or a knockoff pop off here for the Empoleon.
Yeah, we can't let this get more chipped down if we are a Godbear, because you need it to answer the Manaphy. The only positive here is that if you are in against the Manaphy at any point, Roost is something you can always click safely.
Yes.
Even at +6, Manaphy's not doing more than 50% with a Scald. So no matter what happens, as long as this thing's healthy enough to live a Scald and a burn, you can always click Roost safely.
So we see Godbear elect to go for the Tinglu against the Hatterene here. So it's going to be interesting. Nuzzle comes out, and Tinglu able to just eat it. The immunity working out strong there, but now Dazzling Gleam just kind of, nukes.
Yeah, and Godbear seems to be okay with that, trying to fire off a Ruination here before going down to a Dazzling Gleam. Tinglu obviously no longer Choice Scarfed, really not adding value as a Slowmon this week.
No.
Tinglu known for its speed and really handicapped by the loss of the item here.
But I believe this Tinglu will actually live this Dazzling Gleam. So now it can fire off an Earthquake without any real fears because there is no ground resist on Addy's team.
Yeah, and I don't know if an Earthquake kills the Hatterene from this range, but seeing Dazzling Gleam instead of Draining Kiss is really nice for Godbear here because
Yeah.
the Hatterene will continue to take the damage at least. Even though there's a little bit of leftover recovery, you can at least guarantee that you're not going to be giving it back a lot of HP here.
Nope. So we are going to see here. I think I saw Godbear click his end headbutt. Did I see that right, or did I miss see
I
what was
wasn't
selected?
paying quite close enough attention to see it in the quick time that we saw.
We see Hatterene hard swap out here. Great Tusk is the one that comes in, and another Ruination.
Okay, getting another 25% off on the Great Tusk, so it's down 75%.
This is where things do get a little dicey for Godbear. Tinglu is low enough that Great Tusk just clipping Rapid Spin should pick up a kill here. And the speed boost will then likely make it so that Great Tusk can't be outsped by the Scyther, but Tinglu's gonna hold on to my 1%.
Firing off his own headbutt and picking up the KO here.
Oh my goodness. So that was one of two possible rolls. All other rolls and that sorry, that was one of 4 rolls. All other rolls and that Tinglu just dies. So 25% chance.
Godbear living on that. I mean, he's racked up some terrible hacks early in the season to try to get him back against Addy here, it seems like.
Tinglu putting in work.
A 1 HP on a maximally offensive set, 0 bulk investment on the Tinglu. Still lives on 1, perfectly calced. As Roaring Moon gonna pick up the first kill of the battle for Addy. Despite, all the chaos that's happened so far, it is only 5-4 in favor of the Chicago Phalanx. So, and a lot of the Chicago Phalanx team has taken a lot of damage. Now, this is an interesting spot. Godbear definitely evaluating that you're stuck between that 50-50 again, the taunt, the U-turn situation. Addy going to have the same kind of decision point because if this thing gets off a roost, it just becomes another Stonewall to the Roaring Moon later in the game again.
Yep.
But if you fire off a taunt and you get hit by a body press, you lose a ton of HP. Addy correctly reading the situation, goes for the U-turn here, realizing, hey, if you get your HP back, so be it. I'll still be at full no matter what. And otherwise, I can get in something on a body press much more safely.
Yeah, I would imagine that we're going to see the Vileplume come in here.
Yeah, and Addy continuing to fish for an effect, Spore effect. But actually, no. Magic Bounce, Hatterene coming in, maybe looking at hazard possibilities, but
either that or anticipating that it was going to be the body press specifically, and Hatterene does 4 times resist that.
Not to mention that Hatterene has Pain Split, and if you do get off a roost here, you could see the Hatterene try to fire off a Pain Split and get some, actually major damage on a Dudunsparce later. So
we see Godbear go for the hard swap, going to bring in the Empoleon once again, and Psychic Noise is going to come out, and that's kind of where it gets a little dicey here for Godbear, just because Psychic Noise preventing the healing, and you want to make sure that this Empoleon's not taking too much chip because you've got the burn that's happening every time you swap it in, and like you mentioned, this needs to be the answer potentially for the Manaphy later.
Yeah, and you've seen a lot of the moves on this Hatterene. Now you've seen Dazzling Gleam, Psychic Noise, Nuzzle, so there's one more move slot, but overall, I do think that this is a reasonable choice time to click the knockoff. Last time you did see the Hatterene going for a Nuzzle, making a read, that this was going to be switched out. This time the Hatterene is going to choose to get out a dodge here, as we are going to see Bloodlust come in. That is the Roaring Moon, which is finally going to actually lose its item. As the first damage to the Roaring Moon is done here, despite it being in like 6 times before this.
Yeah, I think one of the key things for Addy right now is trying to make sure that if anything on Godbear's side dies, it's the Roaring Moon that's in. Just because can't afford to let Scyther come in for free, because it feels like anything that it comes in on, it's just dying essentially at this point.
Yeah, but so this is a really interesting situation for Godbear because he has seen knockoff, U-turn, and taunt on the Roaring Moon. He doesn't know what the last move is, and actually, it seems like he's
I wouldn't be
baiting
surprised.
into trying to see if this thing clicks something like Earthquake.
I wouldn't. Oh, we just see the knockoff go for the kill there. I wouldn't be surprised if Godbear is guessing that Roost is the last move, just based off the trend of everything that's been seen so far.
But Godbear, knowing that this thing has no item now, is going to be able to guarantee with that the Iron Valiant can outspeed. And that's going to allow the Iron Valiant to fire off an attack. The question is what? Almost certainly Addy does not sack this.
Oh, and a huge potential double swap read here, as Godbear is just going to immediately swap back, go into the Scyther. So if Addy goes into, say, the Vileplume, which is very likely considering it being able to resist both stabs, we see the U-turn come out, but Scyther is going to be able to live that. Yeah, and something's got to come in now. I'm surprised Addy went for the U-turn there. That seemed very risky.
Yeah, allows the Iron Valiant to just kill you if it does choose to fire off an attack, but maybe Addy reading Godbear here. It's a risky play, but you know, perhaps it's one of those important ones.
So we see Manaphy come in here. Manaphy is extremely bulky, so it actually would live the dual wing beat here.
Yeah, and the Empoleon's gone, so you're going to have to figure out a way to break through this Manaphy at some point, because take hearts are going to start becoming a problem for you.
So we see the U-turn come out. That is going to deal big damage. Manaphy will be at roughly 80% after the leftovers heal.
And it looks like, given that amount of damage, that a dual wing beat would kill from there.
It would be a roll right now. Because max damage, the U-turn would have done 32%, so it'd be back down to about 26%, or about 74 health, which is the max roll of a dual wing beat. So leftovers are taking the Manaphy out of that range without a crit.
Godbear is going to need to find a way to make sure that this Manaphy has damage on it for when the Scizor or the Scyther comes back in. Obviously, with the rest, the leftovers, and everything else, it's going to be very hard to guarantee that.
Yeah. I think a Dragon Pulse right now will go a long ways for that. If we assume the Manaphy is at 80% right now, Dragon Pulse is going to be doing about 40, so that's going to bring the Manaphy down to about half. And it would take either clicking Rest or 4 turns of leftovers to get it back out of range.
Yeah, but if you take Heart, you get out of range of the next Dragon Pulse, right? And then you rest. And then you can Sleep Talk, and if you can hit one more Take Heart, you probably don't die to 2 Dragon Pulses ever, or 3 Dragon Pulses ever, and then you're just looking at not getting crit.
Absolutely huge damage there. We do see the Take Heart, but
after leftovers, I think it's healthy enough to be able to rest here.
Yeah, so Dragon Pulse now is doing about 25 to 30%. That looks like it's in roll range.
That's over 30% of health.
Oh, yep.
Yeah. So we're going to see a rest here. Addy obviously going to choose to go for that. The big thing here, the 2 big things here to note are Godbear is the one fishing for crits. And that, you know, is always a big thing. When you're the person who gets to be firing off attacks, You're the one who can get critical hits. But the other thing is, the Life Orb is actually benefiting Godbear, in my opinion, right now. I think the play here is to stay in and just keep attacking, because at some point your Latias is going to kill itself. And at that point, the Manaphy will be at whatever health it's at when the Latias chooses to die. And if you get scalded, sort of all the better. It means it's not recovering, and it can be in the range of the dual wing beat at that point.
Yep.
It's unlikely that a scald here would kill even at +1. And so you need to get one more attack off here. And we do see the Sleep Talk into rest doing nothing productive on Addie's side.
This is why I don't like the rest sets. It just puts too much into the hands of RNG.
I agree, but in situations like this, RNG is sort of not like you're offsetting that by the number of opportunities you're gonna get to click it.
Oh, absolutely. Like in this spot, it puts in work. But like take back Aaron beating Boyd. Aaron clicked Sleep Talk, I want to say close to 8 times. Only got there's the crit. Oh my goodness. And they only
if this thing, I mean, it doesn't matter really what it does here. It's gonna die to the next Dragon Pulse.
Addie not clicking Sleep Talk?
Yeah, I didn't see it pop up there.
Oh, that's very unfortunate.
As the Dragon Pulse is gonna fire off and take out the Manaphy here. Now, of course, Roaring Moon absolutely can come in here, fire off a knockoff, and as Addie is continuously trying to do, be in when the Scyther would have a chance to come in. Knockoff is, of course, 100% free. The Latias is 11 HP, even if it has Culver Berry, max defense, and there's a light reflect up in front of it. I still think it dies.
Yeah. But no, that Manaphy going down is absolutely huge here, because Iron Valiant can come back in. And now it's just kind of a question of, can Addie make the read? Does she risk going down to the Moonblast, or does she go hard into the Vileplume?
I think Moonblast is safe here from the Iron Valiant, even if the Vileplume does come in. The thing is, Godbear's best click into the Vileplume is Fire Punch, and that's horrifying.
Yeah.
That's absolutely horrifying. First off, I don't think it kills. Second off, you're risking Effect Spore. But I don't think you can ever click Fire Punch into this Roaring Moon.
No. Fire Punch would only deal about 50%. So what I think here is Addie has to go hard out, bring in the Vileplume. Vileplume's going to take some chip. You then go into the Dunsparce for Godbear. Be prepared to essentially sack it. So that way you can then bring in the Scyther healthy again. And the clear amulet's gone, so exactly what we talked about, the possibility of the Moonblast lowering the special attack.
Yeah, little surprised to see Fire Punch here as the choice from the Iron Valiant rather than like Psychic, if you're running it for the Vileplume.
I'm wondering if it might have been because of more fearing Terra Steel. But then again, you've got close combat.
Yeah, just a little surprised that just a little surprised that a physical move is chosen, right? Like
True.
Aura Sphere would also be an option, but it maybe wasn't predicting the Vileplume to come. But even then, like Ninetales doesn't really mind a Fire Punch. You know, Charizard obviously doesn't mind a Fire Punch, so a lot of things just like wouldn't care about a Fire Punch here.
No, and I think this is really this right here to me is essentially the end game. Can Addie keep the Vileplume healthy? If she can, it realistically is able to wall a lot of mons, including the threat of the Iron Valiant. But if it goes down, then Iron Valiant can take out the Roaring Moon, and Scyther can take out everything else. So I think Addie really just needs to keep that Vileplume healthy, just to make sure that she has an answer for when the Iron Valiant comes in. And Godbear getting the roost off, which actually may be harmful to him here because of the fact that now Pain Split is a very viable option.
Yeah, I mean, you can't switch here, right? You're just kind of stuck until the Dunsparce goes down. And you want this Hatterene to be at as low of a health as you can get it. Now, I don't know. Pain Split hasn't been revealed yet, so I don't know if Godbear would be predicting Pain Split in the 4th move slot, but this is an insane play.
This could be the match right here.
Because the choices are either Psychic Noise or Nuzzle. Now, Godbear does have one out here. As long as the Iron Valiant is alive. Which is that it does have access to Endure Custap. But maybe Godbear saying, I'd actually rather be paralyzed than put to sleep by an Effect Spore.
Yeah, and I don't think the Endure Custap's going to work because one of the 2 offensive moves that the Roaring Moon's going to click is Knockoff.
That's true. It doesn't actually have a way to even hit the Iron Valiant.
Now, the one upside is now Fire Punch would have been free, but Hatterene just stays in there, so kind of a rough position here as Scyther can come in, pick up the kill. That's going to secure Godbear a point. I don't think there's any way Godbear doesn't get a point here.
Don't say that.
Oh, no, that's right. I did just open it up. Oh, no. Godbear, I'm so sorry. Please, buddy, forgive me. Oh, no. Can I just end the stream right now?
Honestly, this is your fault. I think you have to give Godbear one of your points.
Oh, no. Oh. Now I just have to sit and wait. Oh, no.
Yeah. As the Hatterene is going to switch out, that is the clear answer to do Dunsparce. So
yep.
Choosing to try to get the...
Like I mentioned, at least 1 point here going to be scored by Godbear. Never a doubt. Commentator curse, never heard of her.
Super effective. No effects for pop. All right. Not sure if it matters. I do think that the Roaring Moon can kill from this range.
Yeah, it's getting more a question of now that the Dunsparce is healthy, Godbear is going to go back into it, and then it's going to come down to if at any point Godbear is able to get Scyther in and the Roaring Moon is not what's in. If that can happen, I think Godbear has a chance. And we see him elect to just stay in, going to sack the Scyther, maybe anticipating the swap. But I feel like a U-turn would have been coming out there either way. So now Dunsparce versus the world, and I think that this is just game. It's just a question of whether or not Addy's going to give Godbear one more differential.
Godbear did lock up the point here. Taunt going to come out. We are going to see that the Dunsparce is going to fall for the taunt, but actually chose to go for a body press here. Do reasonable damage to the Roaring Moon here.
And now Hatterene can just come in safely.
Yeah, just locked into a body press now is not where you want to be. Not permanently locked in, though, and for now outspeeds the Hatterene, so we're going to probably see a Nuzzle. I mean, this is an uphill battle for Godbear, certainly. But I think if you'd gone for a coil there... Oh, you couldn't, because it taunted right away. But,
yep.
You know, I think if he'd managed to get off a coil or something, it could be interesting, but... If he had a normal move, I'd also be much more inclined to think that he had a genuine shot here, like a body slam, you know?
Oh, yeah.
Alone would be an insane move here to open up possibilities for this endgame, but as it stands, it's going to shake off the taunt probably here the next turn, but...
It'd be here.
It doesn't feel like it's going to do enough damage to the Hatterene here to even, like, offset leftovers, and you can coil... You know, you can start that process and see how far it gets you, but with the Psychic Noise coming out.
+6 body press is doing less than 20% to the Hatterene.
Yeah, it's it's a tough spot for Godbear, and with that psychic noise, it does feel like if it was just a different normal move other than glare, you know?
Yep.
Maybe. It's body slam, genuinely? Hard maybe. I'd give that a hard maybe.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, just seeing how little that moves even at the +1. Yeah, if it was body slam, oh wow, I take it back. No, body slam is not doing much either.
I mean, it is very, very defensive Hattery in here, but even still.
Yeah. Body slam was doing at neutral 20%. So we see the dazzling gleam come off, and that will be the match. This was an intense one.
A lot of back and forth here between these two coaches, leading to some very, very interesting situations that, you know, it really did feel like you needed to have Roaring Moon in or you needed to have Scyther in. And at the end of the day, Addy was able to get Roaring Moon in more frequently than Godbear was able to get Scyther in. And I think that's what it came down to.
Yep, and we are joined by Godbear God. I know not the result you're looking for, but one hell of a match.
Yeah, I mean, it was a really good game. I think I overpredicted a few times, and that's what ultimately cost me the game. But I think I also can't really be upset because I did crit the Manaphy, which that Manaphy was looking to like wall my Lottie, so I was.
Yeah, I mean, there was a couple of pieces of hacks here and there. Living the rapid spin obviously was one the other direction, so
yeah, that was crazy.
What the fuck was that? How did you live that?
25% chance to live there.
I'm so sorry about that one.
No, it's okay. I thought like the game was wrapped. I was like, all right, I spin and I think I win, but
I would have tried to quick attack kill you. I don't think it did, but I would have tried.
Quick attack kill me
on the Scyther.
My banded Scyther, yeah.
With Scyther? That's crazy.
Yeah.
Maybe. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I realized very early on that I had nothing for Scyther, so I had to like lock in with my positioning.
Yeah, we were talking about
I kept trying to bring it in. I kept trying to bring it in, but I just couldn't get it in. You played really well.
Well, that was what I was trying to do. I was trying to make sure.
You played very well to keep it off the field.
Well, like I had to gamble a couple times with it. Like I had to gamble that you weren't like, well, there were a couple instances where I just had to gamble you weren't gonna like double into Scyther, and I think you caught me once, which was stressful. And then,
that U-turn in front of the Iron Valiant.
Roaring Moon in. Like when I could have killed Empoleon, but I had to switch Roaring Moon into Empoleon. I was like, fuck, this sucks.
That when you click U-turn on the Roaring Moon, instead of just hard swapping, absolutely insane read to go with there, because a Moonblast just would have nuked it into next week.
Wait, what do you mean?
I just thought she was faster.
No, so
I mean, but Valiant hadn't revealed anything yet, so
yeah, Valiant hadn't revealed. Valiant was faster.
Was it?
Oh, that's unfortunate.
Shit, I was creeping a speed creep. So
yeah, let me double check, but I'm pretty sure when I calced it, it might be nope. I know, I take it back. Valiant was not faster. I think we had that one wrong. So yeah, just because naturally, it would have been interesting, but. Not fearing the scarf, not fearing the.
Yeah, I thought
I couldn't afford to. I like it was one of those things where it's like if it's scarf, I just have to like accept my fate. Like I feel like scarf into like Vile Plume is potentially kind of strange, and into Sun as well because you're not outspeeding like.
Was the Vile Plume Pyopberry? I was like positive it was in front.
No, it was clear amulet. Like 2 of my items were just for Petrant, which didn't come, so I was like, shit.
We were wondering what the Petrant was for, or not the Petrant, the clear amulet.
Clear amulet was to block Parting Shot, and then Covert Cloak on Roaring Moon was to block both Body Slam and Body Slam from to Dunsparce, and then also like the Malignant Chain. Guy was EV'd so that I could just sit on Petrant, which was cool.
Makes sense.
But, yeah.
Yeah, I don't think I was beating your team if I tried like a bulky approach, so I just kind of just swung.
And then I tried a bulky approach.
Yeah.
So
We had
Godbear,
we lived the opposite of our teams.
so I am curious,
What's up?
Godbear, what was the thought process? Because I believe this is the second week now you've done it, to where you've run Serene Grace on the Dunsparce, but you didn't have any secondary effect moves.
I guess
Still
Rattled
you,
was
still
more.
come for him. I
I guess Rattled was
I
more
am
optimal.
chlorophyll and my
I
will
just
don't have any sun. Like, it happens.
No, I was just more
Yeah,
curious
like,
if
I
it
was
was one
like-
of those because like the set changed kind of thing, and so I didn't know if it was just one of those
No,
that didn't
no,
care
I
or.
literally just was like, oh, none of these abilities really like kind of like are matter. I guess like for the Roaring Moon, it might have been a bit more optimal to be Rattled, but
You would have been zooming fast that first time you were in there. You got knockoff, you got U-turned. Like they would have been flying.
We would have joked
That
like,
would've
yeah,
been
that would have been
funny.
the fastest swap out ever on the Vileplume. But no, it was really interesting. I do love the fact that Ting Lu was able to put in as much work as it was being a scarf set. I thought that was.
Okay, what was the EV spread? That's what I want to know. Because like, I was like,
it literally had force, but it had like no fog.
wait, then how did Spin not kill? What? I was calculating versus like max HP, and it was like, it looked like in range.
So at the time, let me go back to it.
I think it was at 46.
It was at 46, and I know that because there was only it was at. I got Great Tuscan. I would need Ting Lu. Yeah, it was at 46 because on a min roll, it's 44, 44, 45, 45. It lived all those. Your Great Tusk only had 56 attack with Adamant, and yeah, Rapid Spin was doing anywhere from 44 to 52 damage.
Oh, I feel bad about that
4
one.
HP.
No,
Yeah, it's the same fucking damage roll for max HP to no
it's
HP.
4 defense. It's 4 defense. Yeah, that's all it had.
Wait. That's crazy. Like, so even if you were max HP, it was the exact same roll.
Well, it's the same amount of damage. It's just lower percentage.
Basically, I calced. I didn't have enough time, but I calced like max HP Ting Lu, and I was like, oh, like it looks in range of that. So surely, if it's not max HP, then I'll definitely kill.
The fact that it's the exact same.
Less HP, the percentage
Literally
is
the exact
higher
same
that it
roll.
was left at.
Literally the
That's
exact same roll.
Pokemon. That is Pokemon for you.
That's crazy. I was so like, because I thought that was my in. I was like, okay, the only way I can make this happen is like if I can set up a Tusk sweep, but.
Well, Addy, you found a way to get it done despite the Tusk going down, picking up another couple points here. So congratulations on the win.
Thanks, I'm back to my 2-point ways.
Yeah, well, you're the first person to reach 10 points this season, so something's working. You're also the first person.
That was definitely my toughest game this season for sure. So
thank you. That was a really fun one. I enjoyed that.
Yeah,
and Godbear managed to pick up that point. Very big in your division as well right now. So
Godbear, if you go back and rewatch the replay, I just want to apologize.
We gotta acknowledge the faux pas that Finfin committed, where like at the very end of the game, it's Scyther's coming in, Hatterene I think was on the field.
Yep.
And Finfin says, quote, "There is no way for Godbear not to get a point here." Because it's killing someone.
No.
And I was like, the only way to kill something is to click dual wing.
I missed dual
Why would you say that out loud?
Yeah,
I would have strangled you, Finfin. Oh,
as soon as we said that, I said, "Oh wait, no, oh no!" I got very quiet. Stop talking. It's like,
not
oh
with
please,
my RNG.
please,
not with
please
my
no.
RNG this season. What are you doing?
And then the second it hit, I'm like, "See, there was never a doubt. See it."
You asshole.
But yeah, that was hilarious.
It would have been funny, in my opinion, if it would have missed, because then you just click it again and the result's the same because Addy hard swap. But it had me worried for a second, like, oh no, if Addy just clicks.
But if I miss 2 in a row.
Oh, if you missed 2 in a row, I would have been handing in my resignation.
Brutal. I probably would have just given it to you. Like I have no incentive not to let it be a 2-0. I actually think I did misplay though in the end. I think I should have U-turned and then sacked Patterine and then gone for knockoff on the off chance you had like bulk on Scyther, but I just kind of clicked knockoff and hoped.
So
Was your Lilligant max speed, by the way?
No, it was like super bulky.
there was not a speed tie.
I was just worried it was a speed tie in the beginning. I was like, no. I would have felt bad if I won 2 speed ties.
No, I was like a super spadef Sui Lilligant. I was gonna try and like victory dance and just win, but I was too scared to click victory dance turn 1, which is stupid because that was the point. So.
Oh,
Yeah.
I did want to ask, did you have another unfortunate misclick, Addy? With the
Oh,
mana
when-
fee?
You did.
Oh, when
there was a
did I-
turn where you were sleeping and we didn't see sleep talk pop.
Oh, well, the reason I did that was because I was afraid of. I was estimating how many life orb hits it was gonna take the
Got
Latias
you.
to die. So I wanted.
Sure.
I was afraid
Didn't
of
wanna hit
clicking
Scald.
sleep talk and then rolling Scald and killing it. I wanted to like make it so that I had just clicked rest as it died to life orb.
Got you.
Oh.
The reason I asked that is I
Oh,
was
that would've been
genuinely worried that was a tilt moment, because if it was another misclick, because that was the same turn Godbear got the crit, and so the misclick
God.
into the crit.
No. It wasn't anything like that. It was. I mean, I honestly
yeah.
didn't really. I was thinking like, okay, Manaphy probably never ends up being out of range of Scyther and then also simultaneously awake. So my best odds of killing Scyther from that position, because I think that's all he would have been able to go into, is
Yeah, I would have went Scyther after, sure.
yeah, so like would just have been to be at max HP, because I think it looked like it did something like 60 or 70% or something. So I just wanted to like I wanted to make sure I was out of range of dual wing beat to at least give myself like a 1 in 3 chance of killing the Scyther.
No, that makes sense. It was just the timing that had me worried, because it's like, oh, we didn't see sleep talk pop off, and then immediately after it was the crit. I'm like, oh, please don't let that be a double whammy. That's gonna suck.
No, I just didn't click it for the life orb.
That
would have been funny though.
That makes sense. It's funny now, but if it would have happened in the moment, it would have been a major.
I mean, it was, to be fair, it was also a gamble too. Like, my guess was that it was going to be 3 life orb hits. I don't even know if that's true or not, but like, I was sort of estimating from the HP bar, so I was like, we'll try it.
I was so
like,
devastated. I took
Okay.
Thunderbolt off like 10 minutes off before the game, and I was so sad.
I mean, I didn't really feel. I felt like the combination of Latias and then Scyther was likely going to, beat Manaphy anyway. So it's just sort of like, if I can get even a chance of killing Scyther out of this, then that's a good spot for me.
No, yeah, that makes sense.
But I'm also rolling crits, you know what I mean? So it is what it is.
Yep. But great game. As a result, Addy, you secure your place as first place for a little bit longer. I think Gold's got a chance to tie you, at which point then the tiebreaker would just give it to you anyway. So it's a question of whether or not I can beat Aaron, and if I can I beat him by enough that I pass you? I am not holding my breath on that one.
Want to pass me? Is that what you're saying? Like, what?
I want to try and get ahead as much as possible. I told Gold my goal for the year is if I can get 7 wins, that will be my 20th win, as well as bring me to above 500 in TBL history, and that's my goal right now. Because I've been on a major upswing lately after my rough start in TBL, so I'm trying to keep that going, but we shall see. But appreciate you both. That was a fantastic game. Great way to start off the week. And that's actually going to do it for us here today. The next matches are set to be Saturday, so we do look forward to you all coming back and joining. And if you're watching this on the replay, please come join us in the TBL server. We'd love to have more people in, watch these battles live, be part of the community. But until next time, whatever you're doing in life, just have fun with it. We appreciate you all. Have a good one. Take care, everybody.